Now to a major breakthrough in the mastermind behind the wave of violent crime in Sydney and Melbourne. Israel's spy agency Mossad has named the figure who orchestrated several terror attacks in Australia, including the firebombing of the Adass Synagogue in Melbourne and of Lewis's Continental Kitchen in Sydney. It's a network run by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Quds force, and its commander, Sadr Amar. Now, he commands 11,000 operatives and has been allegedly directing covert operations. That's what his unit does, the Quds force. To disguise their involvement, Mossad said the network has recruited non-Iranians and has also used criminal gangs. And this is what we've seen in Australia. You remember Victorian police and the AFP was stumped to find criminals linked to the tobacco wars were also allegedly involved in anti-Semitic attacks. But this is not just in Australia. We've seen the same pattern around the world. In Greece, there were arson attacks against an Israeli-owned hotel and a synagogue in Athens last year, and a man was also arrested in Germany for allegedly planning intelligence on terror attacks on Jewish targets. And we now learn that Iran was allegedly behind all of this global spate of terror. Now, it would have been good had the Australian government been clear-eyed about the threat the entire time. But remember when Penny Wong really struggled to outright endorse the Israeli strikes against Iran's nuclear sites? Instead, she called, perhaps her favourite word, she kept calling for de-escalation.
What I would say is the key issue is not, is there a threat? There is. We all know that. It's whether or not, in response to it, we increase the risk of regional escalation. And that would have dire consequences to the people of the region. So that is why Australia has said, we urge de-escalation, we urge restraint, we urge dialogue and diplomacy.
She later revised that position. But this detail today about how the wave of anti-Semitic terror in Sydney, in Melbourne and globally was partly orchestrated by Iran is important. It's proof that Israel's enemies don't only want to destroy the Jewish state, but they have their sights on the West too. It's proof that Israel is fighting terror on behalf of the West. That's the war. It's been raging for 2 years now, and why it always deserved full international support. Yet Albanese still seems to be struggling with a bad case of moral confusion. Now, he was spotted wearing this Joy Division, it's a band, T-shirt when he disembarked his VIP plane on Thursday after jetting in from the White House. Now, quickly reports circulated about the meaning of this band name and why the Prime Minister would wear this controversial T-shirt. Now, the band Joy Division took its name from a wing of a Nazi concentration camp where women were sex slaves. It was where female Jews were forced into prostitution for the Nazis. And the Nazis called this wing the Joy Division. Self-explanatory. And that's what the band confirmed they named it after. Now, I personally gave Albanese the benefit of the doubt. I thought he couldn't possibly know this. He just likes the band and he's trying to present a cool punter image, DJ Albo. But then journalist Steve Jackson in the Australian's Media Diary today revealed that Albanese actually did know the meaning of the band's name. Former Leo Burnett Australia chair Nigel Marsh told him the meaning in some detail on his podcast in April 2022. Now, Albanese recorded that podcast while he was campaigning to be Prime Minister. He became PM the very next month. We happen to have a copy of their conversation. Have a listen.
In 1955, a Holocaust survivor wrote a book called The House of Dolls. And it's about, unfortunately, the truth of the Germans in the concentration camps had divisions of women who were forced into enslaved prostitution for the SS.
Yeah.
And they were called Joy Divisions. Oh my
really?
God, yeah. And so that's where they got their name from. And I mean, I didn't know that for years.
Well, I wish I didn't.
Well, I'm so sorry to tell you. But the thing
is very dark, isn't
it's
it? But
awful.
Everything about the band was so dark.
Yeah, and obviously they were just trying to choose the most shocking name they can. I'm sorry for giving you that piece of dark background.
You should edit that out of the podcast just for the sake of the listeners, I think, so that they can continue to enjoy it. But they were so dark.
Edit out history to make your life easier. That's the view of this Prime Minister. So yes, he was told, and that was the proof that he did know what the band name meant. Now, this blows my mind. Like I said, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, assuming he didn't know the meaning of the name. But he did. And he still chose to wear the T-shirt when anti-Semitism is raging under his watch and when he refuses to implement Gillian Siegel's recommendations. Now, in The Australian, Steve Jackson writes, "The wisdom of wearing a Joy Division T-shirt, given its symbolic reference to the abhorrent war crimes committed against Jewish women, is beyond strange, considering the last living Jewish hostages had only just been released by Hamas." It's difficult to believe the Prime Minister would choose to wear this T-shirt, given he knows the meaning of the name. Anti-Semites will see him wearing that T-shirt after such an important trip and take it as a very public message of endorsement, especially given his refusing to act on anti-Semitism. Albanese's lack of moral fibre, his lack of empathy, his inhumanity is truly astonishing.